Thanks everyone, thank you for being here. To get that input fixed. This session is about the universality, is that a word? Of the major scale in improvisational contexts. Everyone's always talking about the modes and arpeggio this and arpeggio that. This session is going to be talking about how to improvise using several diatonic chords all in one key, and without the idea of really thinking about modes at all. We're going to be thinking about the chord that's happening, certainly, and then scales in 2 or maybe 3 positions, so we could be able to play, like in the case of C major. If I had this chord, C major chord, I would probably end up using the C scale in that position to improvise a melody over that chord. If I were to take C major like this, okay, I probably wouldn't jump back to third position to play a melody over that chord. At least at first glance, I would probably end up playing that chord like this. The scale like this. Right? So now I have that whole grid, that whole framework in there to start on any one of the notes. So here's where it's going to start to get a little bit beautiful and bizarre. One more scale form though. 7th position, 2nd finger on the 8th fret C. Right? So now we have 3 different positions of C that we can end up utilizing. Right? Sorry. And all of those fingerings will end up covering an awful lot of ground. Here's where it's going to get great. Let's say we're taking the 2 chord in the key of C. What is it? It's D minor. We need a little bit of chord knowledge to really take advantage of this. Just keep in mind 1, 4, and 5 are major in a major key. The 2, 3, and 6 chords are minor chords, and then 7 is diminished. So that'll be helpful as we start to pick out notes to improvise with. So if I were to take D minor 7, like this. Goofing, whatever. What I just did was took this version of the C scale but started on this D. So it fits over that chord better. That's so great. Then if I went back to C, I could use or this. Let's go to the F chord, an F chord. With this F, right? 8, 7, 5, 6, 5, F, A, C, F, A. From low to high. I would still probably end up using this version of the C scale, but now start on the F note. See how that works out kind of nicely? So if I continued that scale pattern in my improvisation down to a C, right? It sounds like the C is final, but the F is still the harmony, right? So going to that C might be a folly. I don't know, this depends on what you want to hear. The point is this, that I can take any number of versions of the C major scale, choose chords that are within that key, and then start my scale on that particular note. If I'm playing an E minor chord, I would start my C major scale on E, perhaps finish it on E, resolve my melody in some way on an E. Right, this chord here, or better yet, this one. Right, how about that fingering? 7, 5, 4, open, open, E, G, B, open B to a high E. You can probably see just from the placement of the fingers in this position on this E minor chord that I'll probably end up using that version of the C scale, but starting on that E. You can see how I finished off on that E right there. Same thing as that one. But this E, pardon me, is drawn from this version of the scale. There, right? Let's do another one, shall we? How about if I played a G chord? So in the scales that we've chosen so far, we had this C, right? So I could take this G here to go over. My guitar was better in tune. Sorry about that. I must have floated out of tune since we started this session. So I could start my melody on this G. As you continue with this next part of the course, we'll break this down even further, show a lot more varieties of chords. I hope you enjoyed this brief overview on making the major scale the primary source of your improvisation when you're soloing in a major key.